Stop for a moment. Look at your hands. Touch your face. You think you know who you are, don't you? You believe that the person sitting here right now is the same person who woke up this morning, the same person who went to sleep last night. But what if I told you that's completely wrong? What if I told you that scientifically, physically, materially, you are not the same person? Not metaphorically, not philosophically, but as a matter of hard, cold, undeniable physics. I'm Richard Feynman, and I've spent my life unraveling the mysteries of the universe. And today, I'm going to prove to you something that will fundamentally change how you see yourself. The person you think you are doesn't exist. You are not a thing. You are a process. And once you understand this, once you truly grasp what I'm about to show you, you will never look at yourself, your life, or your potential the same way again. Let me start with the most basic question in science. What are you made of? Your first instinct might be to say, I'm made of flesh and blood, bones and organs. Okay, fair enough. But let's go deeper. What is flesh made of? Cells. What are cells made of? Molecules. And what are molecules made of? Atoms. Now we're getting somewhere. You are made of atoms. Approximately 7 octillion of them. That's a 7 followed by 27 zeros. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, calcium, phosphorus, the basic building blocks of matter, arranged in an incredibly complex pattern that somehow creates consciousness, creates you. But here's the question that should keep you awake at night. Are these the same atoms that were in your body yesterday? Last week? Last year? The answer is no. Absolutely not. And this isn't speculation. This is established, verified, replicated science. In the 1950s, scientists developed a revolutionary technique using radioactive isotopes as tracers. They could label specific atoms and track them through biological systems. What they discovered was absolutely shocking. Your stomach lining completely replaces itself every 2 to 4 days. Think about that. The entire interior surface of your stomach gone and rebuilt in less than a week. Why? Because stomach acid is so corrosive that those cells must be constantly replaced to prevent your stomach from digesting itself. Your skin? Completely new every 2 to 4 weeks. You're literally shedding millions of dead skin cells every single day and growing new ones to replace them. In fact, a significant portion of household dust is actually your dead skin cells. You're constantly leaving pieces of yourself behind. Your red blood cells, which carry oxygen throughout your body, are replaced every 120 days. Your liver, that incredible chemical processing plant, completely regenerates every 5 months. Even your skeleton, which seems so solid, so permanent, is completely replaced approximately every 10 years. But here's where it gets really interesting. Your brain. For years, scientists believed brain cells never regenerated. We now know that while most neurons last a lifetime, the molecules within them, the proteins, the lipids, the nucleotides, are constantly being replaced. Research using carbon-14 dating has shown that proteins in your brain are replaced at varying rates. Some within days, others within weeks or months. The average protein in your brain is only about 2 weeks old. Studies have demonstrated that approximately 98% of all the atoms in your body are replaced within 1 year. The average atom in your body has only been there for 7 to 10 years maximum. So let me state this clearly. The physical matter that constitutes your body today is almost entirely different from the physical matter that constituted your body a year ago. Now you might be thinking, okay, Feynman, but I still feel like me. I have the same memories, the same personality. How do you explain that? Excellent question. Let me answer it with an analogy. Imagine you're standing in front of Niagara Falls. You see this magnificent cascade of water thundering down. You take a photograph. You come back the next day and you say, "Look, it's the same waterfall." You take another photograph. But is it the same waterfall? Not a single water molecule that was there yesterday is there today. The water has flowed away, gone downstream, evaporated into the atmosphere, been absorbed into the ground. The waterfall you see today is made of completely different water. Yet we call it the same waterfall. Why? Because what we recognize as the waterfall is not the water itself. It's the pattern, the form, the structure of the flow. The waterfall is not a thing, it's a process. You are exactly like that waterfall. You are not your atoms. You are not the physical matter that temporarily occupies the space you call your body. You are the pattern, the organization, the information encoded in the arrangement of that matter. You are a process, not a product. This concept is called a dissipative structure in physics. It's a system that maintains its organization by constantly exchanging matter and energy with its environment. A flame is a dissipative structure. A tornado is a dissipative structure. And you are a dissipative structure. The flame burning on a candle is not made of the same molecules from one moment to the next. Hot gases rise, new oxygen flows in, wax vaporizes and combusts. Yet we perceive it as the same flame because the pattern remains stable. Similarly, you maintain your pattern by constantly consuming food, extracting energy, and expelling waste. You breathe in oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. You drink water and excrete urine. You're in constant material exchange with your environment. The moment this exchange stops, the moment this process ceases, you are gone. Even if all your atoms are still present. A corpse contains the same atoms as a living person initially, but we don't consider it the same person because the process has stopped. The pattern has collapsed. This brings us to a philosophical puzzle over 2,000 years old, the Ship of Theseus. According to ancient Greek legend, the hero Theseus sailed to Crete on a great ship. The Athenians preserved his ship for centuries as a memorial, but as time passed, wooden planks began to rot. So they replaced the rotten planks with new, strong wood. Then more planks rotted, and they replaced those too. Eventually they replaced the mast, the sails, the oars. After enough time, every single piece of the original ship had been replaced. Not one plank from the original remained. The question is it still the Ship of Theseus? The ancient philosophers debated this endlessly. Some said yes, because there was continuity, the ship was never dismantled, just gradually repaired. Others said no, because none of the original material remained. But here's the mind-bending part. What if someone collected all the old rotted planks and reassembled them into a ship? Now you have two ships. Which one is the real Ship of Theseus? The one with original materials but broken continuity? Or the one with continuous existence but new materials? You, my friend, are the Ship of Theseus. Every plank, every nail, every atom gets replaced over time. You maintain continuity of pattern, but not continuity of substance. Most people would say the gradually repaired ship is the real ship, because what matters is the continuity of form and function, not the specific materials. And that's exactly what you are, a continuously maintained pattern, even as the materials constantly change. Now let's talk about what really creates your sense of being the same person. Your memories and consciousness. You feel like you're the same person who existed yesterday because you remember being that person. You remember what you did, what you thought, what you felt. This creates narrative continuity, a story connecting past you to present you. But here's something neuroscience has discovered that's absolutely fascinating. Your memories are not fixed recordings. Every time you remember something, You're not playing it back. You're reconstructing it. When you form a memory, your brain doesn't store it in one location. Different aspects are stored across different regions, visual details in the visual cortex, emotional content in the amygdala, spatial context in the hippocampus. When you recall a memory, your brain gathers these scattered pieces and reconstructs them into a coherent experience. But here's the critical part. Every time you do this reconstruction, you slightly modify the memory. You add new interpretations based on your current emotional state. You incorporate new information. You fill in gaps with plausible details that may not have been in the original experience. Research shows memories are most vulnerable to modification immediately after recall. Each time you remember something, you're creating a new memory of remembering it. Your memories of important life events may have been reconstructed dozens or hundreds of times, each iteration slightly different from the last. So even the memories giving you a sense of continuous identity are not fixed. They're fluid, changing, being rewritten constantly. And your neurons themselves, while they may last your lifetime, are not static. Every experience you have physically changes your brain. When you learn something new, synapses get stronger or weaker. New connections form. Old connections dissolve. The neural network that is your brain is constantly being resculpted. This is called neuroplasticity, one of the most important discoveries in neuroscience. Your brain constantly rewires itself in response to your experiences, thoughts, and behaviors. When you practice a skill, specific neural pathways strengthen. When you stop using a skill, those pathways weaken. When you experience trauma, it physically alters your brain structure. When you meditate regularly, it can thicken your prefrontal cortex. So even if we could keep all the same atoms in your brain, you still wouldn't be the same person from moment to moment. Because the organization of those atoms, the wiring diagram, is constantly changing. Now let me take you one level deeper, to the quantum realm where things get truly bizarre. In classical physics, we imagine every particle has a definite position and momentum. We imagine we could track each individual particle and say, this is particle number 47,392, and it's here. But quantum mechanics has shown us this picture is completely wrong. At the quantum level, particles don't have definite positions until measured. They exist in superpositions, probability clouds encompassing multiple possibilities simultaneously. An electron isn't here or there. It's in a quantum state representing both until observation collapses the wave function. But here's something even more profound. In quantum mechanics, identical particles are fundamentally indistinguishable. This isn't just practical limitation. It's a fundamental feature of reality. In classical physics, you could imagine painting a number on each electron to tell them apart. But in quantum mechanics, this is impossible in principle. All electrons are exactly, perfectly, identically the same. There's no property, no characteristic, no hidden variable distinguishing one electron from another. This has profound implications. When you exchange two identical particles, the quantum state doesn't change. The question, did we swap these particles, is meaningless, because particles don't have individual identities, allowing you to track which is which. So when an electron in your body is replaced by an electron from your environment, there's no meaningful sense in which we can say a different electron has taken its place. Because electrons don't have individual identities, they're completely interchangeable. Imagine two absolutely identical coins, not just similar, perfectly identical in every way. If I swap them while you're not looking, has anything changed? Can you even say a swap occurred? The answer is no. That's what's happening with fundamental particles in your body constantly. You're exchanging electrons, protons, neutrons with your environment. But because these particles are indistinguishable, the concept of your particles versus other particles breaks down. At the quantum level, there's no such thing as my electron or your electron. There are just electrons, and they're all the same. Let's approach this from another angle. Thermodynamics, the physics of energy and entropy. The second law of thermodynamics tells us that total entropy of an isolated system always increases. Entropy measures disorder, randomness. Left alone, things naturally move from ordered to disordered states. A sandcastle erodes, a building crumbles, a star burns out. But you are not an isolated system. You're an open system, constantly exchanging matter and energy with your environment. This is crucial, because it's the only way you can temporarily resist entropy's increase. Here's how it works. You consume food containing highly organized molecules, complex carbohydrates, proteins, lipids. These are in a low entropy state, containing useful, organized energy. Your body breaks down these molecules, extracts energy, and uses it to maintain your complex structure. In the process, you produce waste, carbon dioxide, urea, heat, in a high entropy state. You're importing low entropy energy and exporting high entropy waste. This allows you to maintain your complex organized structure temporarily, even though total entropy of the universe is still increasing. Life itself can be defined as a process that temporarily creates local order by increasing disorder elsewhere. You are a tiny island of decreasing entropy in a universe of increasing entropy, maintained only through constant work, constant energy consumption, constant material exchange. From a thermodynamic perspective, you are not a thing. You are a process, a flow, a current. You are a pattern of energy transformation, a temporary eddy in the river of increasing entropy. The moment you stop consuming energy, the second law catches up. The organized structure that is your body begins breaking down, decaying, returning to higher entropy. You die, decompose, and the atoms organized into you disperse back into the environment. So if you're not your atoms, not your particles, not a fixed thing, what are you? The answer is, you are information. You are a pattern, an organization, a specific arrangement of matter and energy that encodes information. Think about a book. What makes it a book? Not the paper. You could copy the content onto different paper, a screen, or read it aloud, and it's still the same book. The essence isn't the physical substrate, it's the information, the meaning, the pattern of words and ideas. Similarly, your essence isn't the specific atoms currently in your body. It's the information encoded in their arrangement, the structure of your body, the connectivity of your neurons, the patterns of your thoughts and memories. This information is, in principle, substrate independent. Theoretically, if you could perfectly map your entire brain structure, every neuron, every synapse, and recreate that exact structure using different atoms, would it be you? Most neuroscientists would say yes, because what makes you you is the pattern, not the particles. This is why identical twins, starting with virtually identical genetic information, diverge over time and become different people. Different experiences create different neural patterns, different memories, different personality structures. The information content diverges, and this is why you're continuously becoming a different person. Every new experience, thought, piece of information changes the pattern. New neural connections form, old ones weaken. The information structure that is you evolves. You are not static. You are a dynamic information pattern, constantly updating, constantly evolving, constantly becoming something new. What does all this mean for how you should live? First, abandon the illusion of a fixed, permanent self. You are not a static thing needing protection and preservation. You are a process, a becoming, a constant transformation. That's not a bug, it's a feature. It's what allows you to grow, learn, adapt, evolve. Second, personal growth and change are not just metaphorical. They're literal. When you learn a new skill, challenge yourself, step outside your comfort zone, you are literally, physically, materially becoming a different person. Your brain is rewiring. Your body is incorporating new atoms. The pattern that is you is transforming. Third, don't be imprisoned by your past. That person who made a mistake 5 years ago? Literally not the same person. Almost every atom has been replaced. Their brain has been rewired by thousands of new experiences. You can learn from that past, take responsibility for it, but you don't have to be defined by it. You are not that person anymore. Fourth, you have tremendous agency in shaping who you're becoming. Since you're constantly being rebuilt, you have power to influence that change's direction. The thoughts you choose to think, the habits you form, the people you spend time with, the information you consume, all are actively shaping the pattern that is you. You're not a victim of your past. You're not stuck being who you were. Every moment presents an opportunity to become someone different, someone better, someone new. Because you literally are becoming someone new, whether you're conscious of it or not. The question is, will you take an active role in directing that transformation? Let me summarize what I've proven today. You are not the same person who woke up yesterday because material replacement. 98% of atoms in your body are replaced within 1 year. The physical matter constituting you is constantly changing. Neuroplasticity. Your brain constantly rewires itself. Every experience physically changes your neural connections structure. Memory reconstruction. Your memories aren't fixed recordings, but fluid reconstructions that change each time you access them. Quantum indistinguishability. At the fundamental level, particles don't have individual identities. The concept of your atoms is meaningless. Thermodynamic process. You're not a thing, but a process. A flow of matter and energy temporarily maintaining organized pattern. Information essence. What makes you you isn't specific atoms, but the pattern, the organization, the information encoded in your structure. All of this points to one profound truth. You are not a noun. You are a verb. You are not being. You are becoming. And I find this incredibly liberating. This understanding frees you from the prison of fixed identity. It opens infinite possibilities for growth, change, transformation. No matter who you were yesterday, no matter what mistakes you made, no matter what limitations you thought you had, you can become someone different. You are already becoming someone different. The question is whether you'll do it consciously or unconsciously. The Buddhist philosophers understood this thousands of years ago with anatta, the doctrine of no self, recognizing there's no permanent, unchanging essence. Modern science has confirmed this ancient wisdom with atomic precision and quantum mechanics. So embrace the impermanence, embrace the flux, embrace the constant transformation. You are a wave in the ocean of the universe, a temporary pattern in the eternal dance of matter and energy. You are a brief, beautiful organization of atoms that for a moment becomes conscious of itself. And that moment is now. This moment. The person experiencing this moment will not be the same person experiencing the next moment. You're constantly being reborn, constantly being recreated, constantly being given a fresh start. So make it count. Make each moment an opportunity to become who you truly want to be. Because you're not stuck with who you are. You never were. The person who started watching this video is not the same person finishing it right now. And that's not something to fear. That's something to celebrate. Thank you. Now go out there and consciously create who you're becoming.